Welcome to the Coach's Corner. Coach Clarence is an entrepreneur, financial expert, and passionate about helping people build and market their business. He has a creative flair for thinking outside the box and is always looking for the positive side of life. Now, here's Coach Clarence.
What's happening? What's good, everybody? Welcome to Fit Over 40. I'm your host, Coach Clarence, and I wanted to do something a little different. 10 most common questions I get about losing weight, losing fat, whatever you want to say. So I thought I would discuss it. As always, I got my notes, stay on track. You guys know I'm like a squirrel all over the place. Before I get started, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, smash that joint up. Hit the subscribe button so you get noticed when anytime I drop a video like this, you get that little email or jolt alert on your phone that says, hey, Coach Clarence is dropping a new video, something you might be interested in. So make sure you do that. Very important for the algorithm. And if you are listening to this podcast, make sure you hit the like button, share it, give me 5 stars. That helps, all those good things, so that we can keep bringing you good information. All right, so my topic today are the top 10 things that I get asked a lot about fat loss. So I kind of turned them into like a question. So this podcast would be like if I was being asked a question. And these are literally the most common questions. I kind of brainstormed and looked at some emails because I take notes when I have coaching calls with clients, and I write down things that I get asked a lot. And these are like some of the most common things, but they're all themed around losing body fat. So in order for me to get into that, I want to kind of take some time and tell you a little bit about why each one of the things that I coach on is important. And we always list things in numbers, but every one of these 10 things is important. So one's not better than the other. They all work together, okay? One of the first questions I get, Clarence, Coach Clarence, or hey, my dude, what's going on? And I know you do your fitness thing. I want you to help me lose some weight, man. So what kind of diet should I go on? And one of the first things I say is, let's start right there. Let's not call it a diet, okay? I don't do diets. Years ago, I would give someone a diet, what I deemed a diet, okay? Eat this, don't eat that. I wasn't paying attention to macros, calories. It was just usually, honestly, when I first started this, I was just following bodybuilder diets for everybody. How crazy is that? I was giving a bodybuilder diet to Miss Jones, although they worked because it took me a while to figure out why they were working. But that doesn't make sense now. Most of my clients are over 40 and they have various needs, various issues they're dealing with, and they need individuality, individual programs for them. Was that even a word, individuality? I make up words, I should maybe do a post on words I've made up. There's probably some hater in the comments like, yo, that guy just makes up words. What does it all mean? It doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm trying to express a point, okay? All right, so you got to be thinking long-term. So anything you do to lose body fat, lose weight, has to be something that is sustained. And there are periods when you could be more aggressive. There are periods when you have a maintenance, you back off and just kind of maintain what you have and rest and let your body heal before you start another dieting phase. Or maybe you just came off of doing a show and you've had some severe, low, restricted calories, and you just want to bring your body back to normal, get your metabolism kind of where it is, where it needs to be, just to get you some satiation, if you will, just some homeostasis, just like, here, we're good. We're going to stay right here. We're going to feel normal, okay? That's how I approach this question of what diet should I do? And the diet word immediately makes you feel negative. Oh my God, because diet means restrictive. The first 3 letters spell die. And you feel like you're dying on some diets. So I want to be honest and say that you have to be a little bit uncomfortable when you start a meal plan, if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, it's going to be uncomfortable because you're doing things you don't normally do. Whether you're overeating, undereating, there's a period where you have to adjust. And through coaching, we make adjustments to keep you going. Okay. So forget a diet. Think about eating that supports the goal that you have. If you want to lose 20 pounds, okay, there's a matter of time. How quick can you get there safely, and how quickly can you get that realistically? Many of you heard me say this a lot of times. If you are a multimillionaire, superstar actor, and you need to be ready for Top Gun in 6 weeks, well, there's some sacrifices that you're going to make and that you're able to do, but you justify because, hey, I'm getting ready to get a lot of money to do this film and I need to look a certain way. That's how we do that. Okay. So focus on sustainability. Okay. Something that you can do. Okay. Just like I don't, give out, eat this and eat this, because I used to when I first started, but I realized that people, if they don't like a certain food and you tell them they have to eat it, now they'll mold through it for a while, but eventually they don't like it. So we're going to work them on this first concept of just finding something that works for you through coaching, through accountability calls, through tracking your food. Even me, stubborn as I was, did not want to do it, but it is amazing when you actually track your food. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay. Second question. Okay. You gotta be, what's a realistic body shape for me? I don't know. What makes you feel comfortable? I can't look at you and say you should look like this, because there's a lot that goes into you looking like this. So a lot of people come to me with unrealistic goals, or they think because they're following somebody on social media or they saw an ad and the ad says you can lose 40 pounds in 12 weeks. You could. How realistic is it? How sustainable is it? What do you have to give up to get to that? These are things that needs to be discussed. You have to be realistic with your goals, okay? If you were overweight by over 30 pounds, you did not just get there overnight. There was time, habits, behaviors, things that contribute to you gaining that much weight, okay? We have to first be honest. That goes into the being realistic with ourselves. Hold on a second. Make sure I'm not getting distracted here. Yeah. Let me just turn this joker off. Sorry about that. Sometimes these phones just getting away. It was distracting me. I could see it moving. Okay. Anyway, being realistic. You have to be very realistic when you are setting goals, parameters. Let's say you want to run a marathon. You want to run 26 miles. You've never ran a marathon. You're not going to run 26 miles in the first week. There are stages, progressions, things that you have to do. And then I'm going to talk to you about, do you realize what this is going to do to your body? Are you willing to make the sacrifices, the time on the road, dealing with the pain, working out the issues that come from the constant pounding on your joints? Be realistic. Now, if you say, look, I want to run a marathon in a year from now. Well, hell, that's a great goal, because you have time to adjust and maybe change your mind, because I have no desire to run a marathon. When I was younger, I did, but it's not built for long distance running. So I'd get good at things like fighting, because I ain't running. I got to fight. I got to do what I got to do. No running for me. Being realistic, set realistic weight loss goals. There's different people to tell you different things about how much weight you can lose. I found a sweet spot to be, when you're really doing everything right, about a pound to a pound and a half. Could you use more? A lot of times people lose more weight right up front. A lot of times that's water weight. They just start moving. There's a lot of things going to that. And then you notice the body will kind of tailor it back down. And then you start to see some plateaus, and you got to adjust things. And that's when you really start have to look at it. What you're eating, how much you're eating. Are you hitting those goals that we set out for you? Okay. So be realistic. Okay. People ask me, number 3, a big popular one, do I have to stop eating things I love to eat? And the answer is no. I literally listened to a gentleman that I follow on YouTube, and he's hardcore. If you are on a diet or you plan on losing weight, and I use that word diet again, but if you are competing or you're doing something, he is like, no, because his idea is that it sets you up to want to keep doing it. Then I've heard other people who are very successful coaches say they allow for a cheat meal, not a cheat day, a cheat meal, because it helps with his clients' mental frame of mind. I have done both. I feel like if you're doing everything right, like for example, this will be out, the Super Bowl will be this weekend. A lot of people are going to quote unquote blow it Sunday. But why? If you know what your numbers are, excuse me, you can legitimately track how much you need to eat. And you can plan ahead. Hey, I know I'm going to a party and I like nachos, for example. We know nachos have a lot of fat, a lot of calories, a lot of carbs, not a whole lot of protein, unless you go to get my nachos. We loaded with protein, beans, and a lot of other stuff. But anyway, if you know what you're going to eat, what you like to eat, you can plan ahead for. You can know exactly how many of those you need to hit and still stay on track. And guess what? If you go off track, it's one day. It's one day. Do you have to cut all your foods out you like to eat? The answer is no. For me, my coaching, it's no. But what tracking does, and you're going to hear me say that a lot, tracking allows you to see what that food is doing to you in terms of the calories that comes with it. You could also see how your weight is affected if you're weighing yourself every day. This is why you don't have to cut all the foods you like. Plus, food shouldn't be good or bad. You just have to understand what food is and does it align with your goals. Ultimately, if you eat shitty food all week, that does not align with your goals if your goal is to maintain a healthy weight or get down to a weight that you feel comfortable with the goals that you set out. Very simple. Okay. Does eating once in a while going to mess up your goals? No. Does drinking once in a while going to mess up your goals? No. But track it and see what it does to you. And you'll find yourself, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I only need one. Okay. That's just me. I'm kind of, depending on the client and the goal, how hardcore I want to be on that. Okay. Someone just starting to change their lifestyle, I'm going to be a little more lenient because there's a lot that went into that. Just my opinion. Hey, Clarence, I've heard about conscious eating or mindful eating. What does that really mean? To me, to Coach Clarence, mindful eating can be, and a lot of us are guilty of this. I've done it before. I'm watching a webinar, I am listening to some, or I'm working on some, and I'll eat. Mindful eating a lot of times is moving away from distractions, chewing your food. Like mom used to say, take some time and chew your food. What I have found with myself and my clients, that if they take their time and slow down and chew, they eat less. Okay. A lot of times when you're scarfing food down, you're just swallowing it undigested. Take the time, and we're all, like I said, we're all guilty of. Sometimes we're on the road, we're in the car. Mindful eating is taking your time. Also, thinking about what you're eating is mindful eating, how I define it to my clients. Take your time, see what I have myself been on the road and I had food with me. I pulled over and I literally took 5 minutes to eat my food. Okay. Versus if I was driving, I would boom, 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 driving. I'm trying to eat this, eating with my hand, trying to spoon stuff. You don't even know how much you're eating, let alone the hazards that come with that. And I get it. There are situations you might be in between appointments. You got to be somewhere. You got to do what you got to do. But you're going to be better off taking your time, thinking about what you're eating. Go somewhere quiet. Don't turn on the news. Definitely don't turn on. This is political season. Just eat somewhere peacefully if you can. That's what I recommend. That's what mindful eating means to me, okay? It also helps you pay attention to your hunger, the clues surrounding your hunger, and your body tells you that you're getting full. Again, eating fast, eating while you're distracted. Obviously, like for example, the Super Bowl, people are going to be doing this. Oh my God, great player. Oh, that sucked. That's not mindful eating. But again, it's a party. Don't be too hard on yourself. It is what it is. All right, number 5. How should my plate be divided up? There's all kinds of memes. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet about how your plate should be. Some say put this amount of protein, this amount of carbs, this amount of fat. Again, once you figure out the numbers you need to eat, this over time becomes very easy to do. People say, oh, I'm annoyed. I don't want to track my food. If you literally just take one day and put down the food you're going to eat, weigh it, track it, put it in. There are different softwares, MyFitnessPal, Chronometers, whatever one you use. If you're with us, we use Chronometer. And then you do it one day. And if you're eating the same thing for, let's say, a week, it's already done for you. It's not that hard. And if you make any adjustment to it, you literally just manually go on. You could do it on your phone. I have Chronometer right here on my phone. I do it when I'm out, boom. if you have a good memory, which a lot of people don't, they do it at the end of the day. I think it's better to do it as you go. That's why it's better to have the app on the phone. You could do it right after 8. If you're having dinner with colleagues, you can go, hold on a second, let me just put in what I ate. Also inspires them. You never know, you might inspire someone to say, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm trying to get healthy. I'm watching what I'm eating. But a balanced plate and this is my opinion, you should have each of the food groups represented. I'm not into don't eat carbs or just eat protein. Those are all nuances. And I've talked about this before. Anytime you follow a quote unquote diet, you are essentially just removing a macro, really, which is calories. You're getting less calories from something. So you should have some fat, some protein, some carbohydrates. And if you are tracking successfully, you know exactly how much because you've thought about it. You spent the day going through it. You practice measuring to know how much. Again, you don't have to do it all the time. If you get in the habit of doing it once a week or every time you get a new food you want to try. If you know, hey, I think I'm going to have a steak on Friday. If you happen to have that steak, weigh it out, cut it up, see how much you can eat. Same thing with chicken or figure out what fats are going to be heavy. A lot of times I tell people back off the oils because oils have a lot of calories. People will drench their salad dressing because they think, hey, well, olive oil is healthy and this oil is healthy, but they don't realize it's 9 calories per gram. That adds up really fast versus protein and carbs, which is 4 calories. That little 5 calories adds up really fast. So breaking your plate up, you'll hear people say use the palm size. That's a simple measurement, excuse me. And you can go online and see what a palm size looks like. My clients get a PDF which has, based on their needs, what they should be doing. Okay, men and women, palm sizes. It's a good way to do it. I just have been tracking my food now for some time, and I'm able to, I just know what the measurement is. And if I eat more, if I need to add more to it, I just put it on my little scale. It goes in my backpack. If I'm out, I just put out my scale and go, boom, boom, this is how much I need. And if I'm getting close to the end of the day, I may be short on something, one of the macros, then I add it to it, okay? So that's what balancing your plate is. Again, conscious eating, mindful eating, having a plan. You can't go, what you see a lot of people do is, I need to get rid of carbs because I'm fat. And you'll see them eating just salad or vegetables. That's not sustainable. Number one, there's no fat to keep you full. You probably don't have enough protein. Most people don't have enough protein. Or you're depriving yourself following something that you really don't understand. Are there places and times for moving different food groups out? Yes, but it's not something. Again, this podcast, this show, how I coach is about things you can do forever. You can enjoy a fattier piece of meat. You can enjoy a carb that is, not what you are supposed to be healthy, as long as you know it fits in the big picture of things, okay? And I'm not being all scientific based. There's other channels where they get into all that. I just give it to you straight. This is how you should do it, okay? All right, that's balancing your plate. Okay, so obviously staying hydrated. A lot of people are chronically dehydrated. Hey, there's my water. Reminder, thank you. Water, keep it with you. I tell people keep it by you and you will never not remember to drink it. So on that note, what's weird? When I'm on air, I'm always thinking, what if I take a sip of water and I start choking? I choke myself out. Man, the video will go viral. People be like, did you see what happened to Coach Clarence? He choked himself out. He drowned on water after telling people they should be drinking water. Anyway, just weird things you think about while you're recording. And my stuff is usually unedited. Is what it is. So if I tell a bad joke, sometimes I have a little lisp that comes up. It's just me. I'm not acting. I'm just me. And my producer, Laura, gets annoyed because she comes from the TV world and she wants it to be perfect. And I'm like, people like me for me. All right. So there's all kinds of philosophies, how much to drink. I found the best one, about half ounce. Half your body weight in ounces seems to be a good barometer, but you need to check this stuff out. Use the simple piss test. Keep it kind of clear, like the water in this bottle. Keep it clear. If you notice it's usually yellow or dark or getting to orange, you might be dehydrated. And a lot of times you're dehydrated. At the time you're feeling thirsty, you're already at that point. Just keep some water by your bed. Wake up, 20, 30 ounces of water when you get up before bed. Keep it by you, especially when I'm in Arizona, so it's hot and we sweat a lot. Keep the water by you so you can have it ready to drink. That's a simple tip. easy to maintain, easy to follow. Okay. Stay hydrated. You have to. Not going to achieve fat loss or weight loss being dehydrated because your body's going to pull things, it's going to give you different cravings. Got to stay hydrated. Water is numero uno on beverages and things you should be drinking. Okay. All right. Number 7. And you notice I said I didn't put this first, but it actually is first. But I said I didn't want to put this in order because a lot of times people get so fixed on one thing and then they think that's the thing. Although this is the thing. You need to eat more protein. I have found most people, I already drunk my water. Most people who need to lose weight, I find don't eat enough protein. Once we figure out where they need to be on their protein, we have them get to it. And that can be a challenge for people, but this also can be a time where you can get creative on how to get there. There's 1,000 different ways to get protein from different sources, okay? If you're a person who doesn't eat animal flesh, well, yes, you can get protein from plant-based sources, but you got to be really creative and know what you're doing. And you got to be working with a coach who understands how to blend those things together. But I always tell people, if you're eating a wide variety, if you're a vegan or plant-based of things, you'll get all your essential amino acids. But you meat eaters, excuse me, or flesh, you need to eat a ton of protein. And when I say a ton, there are different people who fight and fuss, and it's like politics. 0.8 grams to 0.12. I've went as high as 1.3 per pound of body weight, a gram. So take 0.8 to 1.3, depending on who you are, how much you're training, all these different variables, times that by how much you weigh. That's going to give you a general protein. And that's just general. If you're watching this and you never get coaching, play in that realm and see how you do. And if you're tracking it, it will tell you where you are, how much protein. So if you're not getting enough or you need more, because when you start to lose weight, if you're really following a successful formula, you should be weight training at the same time. You want to keep that valuable protein because it requires lots of calories, and it's constantly rebuilding itself. And that's part of the process. You got to have that protein up because you're destroying it, breaking it down. You need to put it back in. That's simple. Okay. Remember I told you in the beginning of the show that I used to give people bodybuilder diets and they had a lot of protein in it, and it did cause weight loss in my female clients. Now that I got more educated, I understand why that was. I was increasing the protein they were eating. Pretty simple. I mean, without getting all heavy, they were eating more protein. Okay. So there's so many different ways, you got yogurt, eggs, fish, quinoa, nuts, beans, lentils, you name it. Protein is easy to get it. And worst case scenario, protein shake. And I'm not going to say which one's the best. There's tons of people talking about that. The one that's the best is the one you can afford, the one that digests properly for you and gives you the best results. I do have a supplement store. And if we're working together, I can suggest what store or type of protein that you need. Okay. All right. Quick break here. If you are interested in a fitness consultation, simply email me at info@Coach Clarence, or you hit any of the links. You can get on a complimentary call. We'll discuss to see if working together is a good fit for either one of us. And it's real simple. We're just going to tell it to you straight. I will say you need to invest in yourself. That means financially. You need to be serious about it. I'm not a guy who is going to waste time with someone who's not serious. People say it all the time, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to do this. But if you're not serious, we're just wasting each other's time. There are other people who will just, drag you along, and I just don't have time. I want to work with high-level people. When I say high level, they have goals. They are going to put in the work. They're going to invest in themselves. That's what we want to work with. Again, info@Coach Clarence, just put consultation. I'll send you a link, or if you follow my newsletter, if you're following me on Facebook, any of the mediums, social medias, just DM me and put consult and we'll talk. All right. Number 8, include more high fiber carbohydrates, because people say, what kind of carbohydrates do I need to get? And generally, if people are not conscious of what they're eating a lot of refined products, packaged products, a lot of quick foods, things that are stripped of the fiber because they need to last long on the shelf. They have other things to keep them on. Fruits, veggies, huge. It's very simple, easy to get fiber. What is an example? Whole grain rice, wholemeal, seeded bread, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, rice, whatever works for you. Again, I'm not saying these are the ones you have to do, but we can sit down and go through a food list and figure out ones that will work for you and what you like to eat. Because that's what you're going to do, things you like to do. Okay. But fiber in these carbohydrates are going to digest slow. It's not going to give you a quick rush that foods that don't have fiber in it does. And that really screws up you if you're trying to lose weight, because now you get hungry and there's this whole mechanism where you eat sugary foods or foods that don't have fiber. They get digested quick. Your body has to release certain hormones to slow that down, blah, 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 blah. Whole foods, okay? Keep it whole foods, higher in fiber, root vegetables, regular vegetables, veggies and fruit, cover that in whole grains. Very simple, okay? You can always email me for a list of foods that you like to eat, info@coachclarence.com. I'll send you a list of good foods that have a lot of fiber in them. Your doctor will thank you. And he'll thank me because he'll say, that guy must be on something, because that's what you should be. All right. Number 9. How do I do cardio? What's the best cardio? First off, if you're just getting into this, I just want you to start moving more. I know you're moving around. You had to move, sit down, listen to this. You might be listening to this at the gym. I just want you to move more, okay? Let's just figure out you getting more activity in your life, okay? Why do we recommend taking steps? If you watch any of my videos, you see me say, let's try to get to 10,000 or 8,000. There's some good minimums there. Because we're trying to add activity into your life to create deficits, okay? You can create a deficit by eating less food, moving more. So we're trying to find that balance. And then based on your individual needs and your schedule, we can figure out how much of this do you need to be doing. I will tell you that I have not found one person who moves every day that hasn't been able to maintain healthy weight loss, healthy fat loss. You want to get more aggressive, you move more. It's very simple. Along with resistance training. Very simple. 2 or 3 days a week, depending on your schedule. Well, what are you trying to get accomplished? What's realistic? What's sustainable? Okay. Move, 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 move. Rest. Move, 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 rest. You got to sleep. You're not going to lose weight if you're not sleeping. People have been stuck at plateaus, and all we've done is say, sleep a little more, and they've lost weight. Okay. Very simple. Yes. So what's the right kind of cardio? Something that you can do a couple times a week, sustainable. You can move every day. Walking, I do recommend walking because it's easy. You don't need a gym membership to walk. You need a park, a sidewalk. And if you're really psycho like me, you buy a treadmill that you put next to you so you can get up and do it, and there's never an excuse. There's ways to get it done. How crazy do you want to get with it? But basically, walk outside. You got dogs, you have kids, go for a walk, build those healthy habits. If you live next to a park, set a timer on your clock. What is it? 1,000 steps every 10 minutes? There you go. Build up to it. You don't have to do it all in one session. Maybe do a session in the morning where you just walk in the morning, wake yourself up, versus using caffeine. Walk in the evening when your husband or your boyfriend, or if you're single, get together with a group of people that are walking. There are a lot of people that if you just DM'd and said, hey, I'm putting together a group of people just to walk, get more steps in, I'm sure there's a lot of people. Easy way to do it. So move, move, move. Okay. How aggressive should I be on this journey is the number one question. How hard should I do this? And I tell people, you got to be kind to yourself. You got to love yourself where you are. You don't have to like it, but love yourself where you are. What does that mean? Is be kind to yourself. You are where you are for a lot of reasons. Now we can undo that by being realistic, going back through these steps, and slowly making realistic plans, and you will see the scale move every single time. You cannot go, I'm here and I want to be here and I'm going to do it in a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. It's not going to happen. I've talked about this previously. You hear a lot of people say, give me 6 weeks, give me 12 weeks. Those are just the weeks that you build habits, reinforced through coaching. Be kind to yourself. Do things that keep your stress level down. I've talked about getting off social media. I've talked about turning off the news. That's why I said walking. Now, remember, my clientele is over 40. They're stressful. They're raising kids. They may have kids in college. They may be going through a divorce. They may have just been fired. The stress level is already here. You can't add this and try to find some balance. It has to be gradual. What can you take out? And these are things we talk about in a conversation. What can we take off your plate to make life easier for you? Okay, let's just review really quick. Stop calling it a diet. Don't restrict yourself. Eat, as my friend Phil Kaplan always said, supportive eating. Supportive eating is how you maintain things forever, okay? Be realistic. Keep it real. Keep it 100, as the kids say. Be realistic with your goals. You're not going to look like Superman in a week. You're not going to gain 20 pounds of muscle. It's not going to happen like that. Could you do it? Yes, if you got time and some great genetics and maybe some supplements, you can do it. But the average Joe who just wants to put on a little bit of muscle or maybe take off some fat, some weight, be realistic with your goals. It's a lot easier to do, and you can maintain them. All right. Forget the idea, number 3, of foods you love to eat. You don't have to get rid of them. You have to modify how much access you have to them. And number 2, knowing what it's doing to your goals, your caloric goals, and your goals, and then you make modification. Maybe it's not that important when you see how it affects your numbers, okay? Number 4, eat mindfully. That's being conscious of what you're putting in your mouth. Get in quiet places if you can. Now, obviously, we all live in the real estate world. You can always be quiet. You might be at a restaurant with friends. It may be situations you can't control, but be mindful. Chew. Take the time and chew your food. You can enjoy the conversation. You don't have to rush. Now, if you have to rush, I understand. Let's just try not to make that a habit. Maybe schedule your meetings around when you have to eat so you don't find yourself in that situation. There's all kinds of things you do. We jump on a call. Balance your plate. You should have a mix of all the macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And your micro minerals, which are the minerals and nutrients you get from fruits and veggies. All that needs to be represented on your plate. Number 6, keep hydrated. You need to be hydrated. Drink lots of water. You're never going to go wrong drinking a decent amount of water. Again, play with those numbers to figure out where you are. Quick urine test. It should not look like the Sunny Delight. It should look more like some, at worst case scenario, a little tea with a little, green tea is a great way. A little bit light, just clear. Again, let me do the bottle. Yeah, it's disappearing with this background. But anyway, there's water. If you're peeing like that, you're doing good, or you've had a lot of drinks. Either one, both of them look like that. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay, obviously, get your protein up, figure out where your numbers are. Can't go wrong with knowing where your protein numbers are. Most people need to eat more protein. You'll find that's going to help you right away. Higher fiber foods, just whole foods, grown in the grass, grown in the ground, things that last for a long time, things that don't have a long shelf life you should be putting in your body. If something can last forever on your counter, you probably don't want to be eating it all the time, okay? Can you eat it once in a while? Sure, but it shouldn't be a habit. And then number 9, more movement. Simple as that. Move more than you are sitting still, and you're going to move the needle and see a change in your life. Pretty simple. And last but not least, we say this all the time, be kind to yourself. Know how long it took you to get there. Know that it's not going to end overnight. And that's it. All right, folks, that's it. All right, remember again, leave a comment if you want me to make more videos like this, if you want me to do more podcasts. If you have a question, leave it there. info@coachclarence.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment, ask a question. A lot of people DM, your question might be something that everybody needs an answer to, so make sure that you put it in public, as long as it's not too personal, if you're not discussing your medical history or something like that, but obviously ask a question. All right, this is Coach Clarence. This is Fit Over 40, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Behave yourself. Be good to yourself. I'll see you next time.